In 2012, the Elland, a 150-year-old wrought iron horseboat, made a historic canal trip from Leeds to Liverpool. It's believed that the Elland is the first horseboat to complete the 127-mile route in more than 60 years. 2 days previously, the Elland reached Fulridge, the highest point on the canal, where the crew had to leg the boat through the mile-long tunnel. The weather for most of the trip has been wet and windy, but today it's bright and sunny at Reedley Marina near the town of Colne, where we rejoin the Elland and her crew for the next leg of the journey from Reedley through to the industrial Lancashire town of Burnley. The horseboat is pulled most of the journey by Bilbo Baggins, who rests in a field close by while the boat is prepared by the crew. First, the boat must be positioned along the towpath on the opposite side of the canal, and without a modern engine to do the work, the crew must use barge poles and pole the boat across.
Looks on. Yeah, it does. You can't help it. I mean, it's big pole and all.
No, shows you how deep it is.
No, it's just how deep it is.
We didn't want to say that.
It'll cost more in sweat than diesel would. How far she wants to do it?
Hey, you've got your pantomime horse suit down there, you know.
Don't make a laugh. Please don't make a laugh.
Poling the 60-foot iron barge is hard work for the two crewmen. On this occasion, there is no cargo. Imagine what it would be like with 20 ton of coal on board. A short distance down the canal, Bilbo Baggins is finally hooked up to the 90-foot towing rope which will allow him to pull the boat along the canal.
Oh, I see, yes, okay.
A horse can move almost 50 times more weight in a boat than it could in a cart on old-fashioned roads, as it wastes minimal energy through friction. It's this efficiency which led to the development of Britain's canal system in the 18th century. Sue Day of the Horseboating Society halts the boat at the first bridge, where the boat is loaded for essential provisions and equipment. Sue takes the opportunity to highlight any safety issues and brief the crew about what may lie ahead.
We're really unlucky we didn't.
Yeah.
Bilbo Baggins is brought back to the horseboat and the long walk to Burnley starts. It'll take a couple of hours, but there will be chance to stop, eat and rest on the way. With a main line of just over 127 miles, the Leeds Liverpool Canal is the longest canal in Great Britain. It was the first of the Transpennine canals to be started, the first section opening in 1773, but it was the last to be completed. The length and the complexity of the route meant that the canal took 46 years to build, at a cost of 5 times the original budget. The canal reached Burnley in 1796 and was extended to Enfield Wharf near Accrington in 1801, some 31 years after construction of the canal had begun. It may have taken a long time to build, but the canal soon became an important factor in the growth of industry in East Lancashire. The cheap and reliable transport it provided allowed not just general goods, but also bulk cargoes to be carried easily. Raw materials for the rapidly expanding textile trades came from both Liverpool and Hull, and from West Yorkshire, while stone flags, limestone and coal were carried to and from the wharfs all along the canal. Over the years, a number of boatyards were opened on the canal in East Lancashire. Burnley was probably the most important centre, with 4 boatyards operating around the town. The canal age reigned supreme until the advent of the railways revolutionised the transport industry. But the simple and romantic practice of horseboating continued in Britain until the mid-1960s, lasting almost 200 years. Time for a break near to where the canal passes by Thompson Park, a chance for Bilbo and the crew to rest and have some lunch. Having started the journey in Leeds, 53 miles away, there is still 74 miles to go before the journey's end in Liverpool. After lunch, Bilbo and the horseboat continue on to Burnley, crossing the Burnley embankment, known locally as the Straight Mile. It carries the canal 60 foot above the town. It was built between 1796 and 1801. Though costly to construct, it meant the valley could be traversed by the canal without the need for 2 systems of locks. An innovative solution to the problems of canal engineering in its time, the embankment remains an impressive construction even today. It's widely regarded as one of the 7 wonders of the British waterways system. It's been the wettest June since records began in 1910, but today's sunny weather has brought out the crowds, including local photographers keen to get a snapshot of Bilbo and his barge.
The Horse Boating Society, very important, has that ing on the end. It's not about horse boats tied up in museums. It's about actually getting on out there and getting these boats horse-drawn. We founded the society in January 2001, so we've now been doing 12 years of journeys, and that's really what we're about, preserving the heritage of boats that travelled on whether it be short or long distance journeys carrying cargoes. We don't normally carry a cargo, but we do the long distance journeys. So what we're very interested in doing is enabling people who live along different stretches of the canal to have a horse-drawn boat, you know, in their area, so that they can see a horse-drawn boat coming through their particular village or town, and then they can join in if they wish as a crew member. Or they can just photograph or just watch, whatever it is. But people like to actually have a horse-drawn boat on their patch. And we're trying to, in that way, preserve the national network to keep it open for horse boating. Tragically, somebody else should have set up the horse boating society. It shouldn't have been me. It should have been set up in the 1950s and 60s so that the campaign that we have nowadays wouldn't be so hard. We're now battling against 50 years of where there hasn't been anybody doing long-distance boating. So there are many, many, many impediments in our way, mostly to the towing line.
Bilbo brings the horseboat around the tight bend in the canal near to Finsley Gate, a short distance from Burnley town centre, where a crowd is waiting at the Weaver's Triangle. It's nearly the end of today's journey, but it will all start again tomorrow when the boat continues on to Liverpool.
No, you mustn't feed him. I don't want him to look to people for food. I never ever feed my horse in the hand. Thank you for the thought. What you can do is, you'd like to, if you want to put the carrots on the boat, you can have them when he's finished work tonight. That'd be lovely.
I just thought he's pulling the boat, so I'll take him a carrot.